Hello crafters and welcome to P2PCrafts Presents, brought to you by From Picture to Page and Beyond Papercraft shows. I'm Michelle Brown, Creative Director and your host for today from Picture to Page, and that of course is our scrapbooking, mixed media art and papercrafts community. Now P2PCraft presents demonstrations and chats with our local retailers, some talented crafters and a whole heap of crafty fun. So for all the details, head over to our website from picturetopageandbeyond.com.au, where you can see all the sessions from session 2 that you might have missed, see who's coming up, and of course see all of season 1, get all of the links and catch up with all the specials that our retailers are offering us as well. And while you're over there, make sure you sign up to our email list so we can send you out all the summaries so you can get all that information right to your inbox. Now, whether you're watching here live on Facebook or whether you're watching a replay or seeing us over at YouTube, we would love to hear from you. So pop in the comments, say hi, let us know where you're seeing us from. And of course, if you've got any questions throughout the session, please pop them in the comments and we'll get to them as well. So today, P2PCrafts presents Sofie from Scrapmatts. Hello, Sofie.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, everyone.
It's great to have you here today.
Thank you. My pleasure. It's great to be back.
Excellent. And how's Scrapmatts been this week?
Oh, really good. We've been quite busy and designing and just having some fun with it all, because that's what it's all about, just having some fun.
Exactly. Now, you do design your own stencils. Could you tell us a bit about that process?
Yes, you don't just wake up and it's done. You think, oh, I'll just do one of these. And no, it doesn't happen that way. We actually have quite a lengthy process. We can often cut a stencil up to 20 times before we're actually happy for it to be produced. Do we put it to production? Because there'll be issues like, oh no, that gap is too long. When it moves and people and all the ink and everything will slide underneath. So we look at things like that. How durable it is, how thin are the lines. If the lines are too thin, obviously you pull it a little bit, it's going to break on you, and that'll just be a disappointment. We also use not just one grade of stencil plastic for it. We use a couple of different grades, and we judge it on how thin the lines are and how it needs to be used. And also with our stencils, they are Australian made, which is a good thing. So we have control of what we do, what we make, and everything like that. And everything is made here in our Sydney office. Scrapmatts HQ, as some of my girls call it. And we, I just lost my train of thought. That's okay, I'm just getting old.
Not at all. So where do you get some of your ideas from for your stencils?
Basically anywhere. I can go out for a walk, go to a supermarket and see a shape that inspires me. And I know that sounds weird, but I've often woken up and I'll say to Andrew, I want this. And he just looks at me and go, really? Okay, yeah, it's in my head. I've got to get it out.
Yep.
So, and that's how a lot of my ideas come, that I wanted something. I mean, last time we did some layering. I've now progressed that to the next stage because I haven't finished with it yet. It's still going in my head, and I did promise I was going to do more designs, but I've just taken it now to a different side. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I've been, and inspiration comes from anywhere. Where do you get your inspiration from?
Well, like you said, you go out, you see patterns, you see colour combinations. I'm always taking photos of tiles in different bathrooms that might have a nice pattern on them that I want to remember.
Exactly, and everyone is the same. You go out and something inspires you. Something just inspires you, like your dress. It's got flowers on it. Nice pattern. Florals are great on cards, on mixed media, on journal pages, on layouts. They work really well. But it's the combination of the colours. How much white do you put in there? How much colour you put in there? And that's up to people's taste. But I can just give them the basis. Yeah. Okay, and I also try to do something for the men. For male pages and to help them, to help the ladies with that, because I think it's really important. Why should they be neglected? And a lot of women do actually want to make male cards. Yeah.
So do you find, because thinking about stencils, you've really got that positive and negative, so you're almost thinking in reverse. Have you found that's taken you a while to perfect that process?
Oh, no, I leave that to Andrew.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
The
That's
machine
good.
man, my machine man, why would I sit and worry about it? I'll sort of question a few things and he'll go, no, that can't work because of this reason. Once he explains it, I'm going, oh, yeah, you're right. But I can't always see it like he does
Yeah. So
because he does all the cutting and he does most of the designing on. I just sit and go, I'll get rid of that line, get rid of that line, thin that one out, do that. I mean, I probably could if I sat down and did it, but that he likes doing that. He actually really, really enjoys that part of the designing.
sounds
Well,
like a good team.
we are. We've been, as I said, running it 34 years now. We've worked together, so obviously something's gone right.
It has. Now, you
Yeah.
also have a whole range of chipboard as well. Is your chipboard design process very different to your stencil design process?
About the same.
Okay.
About the same. We would cut things 20 times. This is too thin. This is too thick. Oh, I don't like that. That curve's wrong. There's a bump there. Let's get rid of the bump. It is a process because you also have to see how it's going to look online. Is it appealing to people online? Not just, oh, if I like it. People have to, aesthetically online, it has to be sellable. Yeah, and that's something that's hard to get my head around sometimes, because that's what we were in the business of, inspiring people, and if it doesn't look good online as pieces, no one will want it.
Yeah, it becomes too hard to explain.
Yes, yeah, it's all about the presentation of it and how it will inspire you.
Excellent.
I
Well,
love
speaking
that.
of inspiring people, what have you got to inspire us with today?
Well, as I said, we're going to go through some stencils, and right at the end, I've got some brand new chipboard designs that we've specific for card makers, but can be used elsewhere. But I'm not even going to tell you the name of them because I'll leave that right to the end till we get to it, just to keep people
Excellent.
inspired and wanting to find out what I've been up to, because I'm always up to something.
Fantastic. Well, we'll let you get you ready and then we'll jump right into it. Excellent. So what a fantastic little insight into the way that Sofie really thinks about those stencils. And I think it is interesting to know that, they spend that time putting it together and really making sure that the stencils are robust as well, and really think about, how we're going to use them, not just the first time we have them, but, when we use them years and years and years down the track as well. Excellent. So it looks like Sofie is ready. I will hand over to you, Sofie.
Hi, everyone. Here I am again. Welcome back. Now, these are just some of the smaller stencils that we've designed this week. I'm not going to go through and do a lot of samples with them, but just to explain them to you, we've actually got a knit. This is like a knitting pattern design. I actually had a wool shop. I started off as a wool shop as well as crafts, so the pattern was very familiar to me. And this one, it's just I don't know if you can see it there. I'm just bringing it up a little bit.
Yep,
There's some
we can
beautiful
definitely
little
see that
designs
really
there.
clearly.
Yes, and these again can be used for male patterns, for male stenciling. And I've just done a little sample here, and I'll just bring it up onto the camera. Can we see that?
Yeah, that's really subtle. What did you use for that?
I've used broken china and walnut stain in the oxides. But really subtle, and that's all you really need sometimes as a background. Just very, very pretty. And I've used this stencil here, which is our 5069. And I've just gone randomly all over it just to get that texture. So we've actually done the knit in the large and small, and also this one here we've called fancy knit. Okay, and there's a little flower design, but we'll talk more about flowers because that's the flavour of the month this week. So I'm just going to pop that aside, and we'll just get on to having another chat about another stencil. Okay, now this is one of our new layered stencils. Just going to move them over so you can see it clearly, and as you can see, that's the actual full design down here. And then we have the 4 different layers that you can build up to make that. And a sample of that is right here.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Now, if you notice there's some little pencil marks. We actually have some little registration marks. That will help you get it in exactly the right spot. So what I've done with that one, this actually comes out. So you can have a hollow area and you put that down and work all over it, and that will give you a base colour, because where the stencil has lines, you won't get any colour. So I wanted a bit of background there. I didn't want to have any white showing. So that's how I've done that one. Right. Then I've gone on and said, well, let's have a little bit of fun with this and let's combine it with something else. As we know, love my stencils. So I thought, let's have a little play. And what I've done here is I've used this full stencil, and then I've used parts of the sections of the stencils. But I thought, I don't like the background. So what I've done is I've got this stencil of mine here, which is the 5008, which is circles in different sizes. And I've placed that down lightly on the background to get pink dots. I don't know if you can see the pink dots there.
Yes, no, we can. That's come through.
I think we can. And then I've gone on top and just used some random colours. I think here I've done a few autumn tones. So then I thought, let's take it a little bit further. So here again, I've done the same thing. I've used the pink dots in the background. Mm-hmm. You've just used like a lavender or wilted violet, I think it's called. And then with all the little, let me just grab it, all these other pieces here, right, I've used those to make the leaves. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to use this as a stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 stencil. You can just use part of it. And I can see that on journaling pages. I'll put it down there. You probably see it better. Mm-hmm. I can see those little rays to be used anywhere. For sun, and as I said, I've used it here for leaves. Right? Now, I'm all into making my own papers. So here again, what I've done here, I've used the mask. Oh, my mask is there. It is. On the mask that comes out of this section, we've actually got the word front on it.
Ah, that's handy.
Yes, so that we don't put it in the wrong place. So what I've done is I've used that as a mask, put it down, and then done other colours around it. And then I've used the little other parts of the stencils to make the leaves. So I've got a nice little bits of paper there, and nothing overlaps. None of my colours are overlapping, as you can see. But I've had a bit of fun. So let's say, let's have some more fun.
You can never have too much fun.
And here we are. We've done some light versions in the background, and then some darker versions just with this one down here to make a beautiful paper. And it looks like it's a paper that you could buy from a scrapbook store, but you've made it your own. I'm really into making my own backgrounds because you can never find, you don't have to worry about having the right paper, coordinating. So I tend to just do it all myself. And it means I can have fun and use the colours that I want to use. So I quite enjoy that part of the designing and the playing. So let's move on to some more fun. Let's get rid of this one. And here we go.
More flowers.
Well, we said I was going to go into the flowers because I just wanted to have a bit more fun. And I really love my flowers. It reminds me of spring and summer coming along. So what we have is some A4 stencils, and they're roses, and they come in a large and a small. Okay, the top half of the stencil has the roses, and the bottom half of the stencil has the leaves. We have some little registration marks here. I don't know if you can see them.
Yep, we can see those.
Yeah, and we've marked them A, B, C, and D. And on the second one, it's the same, A, B, C, and D. And here it is. That's the two sizes done on some cardstock. just to show you the difference. Card makers, the smaller one, the larger one for layouts. But again, I don't like playing with one stencil, do I? Because it's so full. So what I've done is I've used another stencil here, a lattice.
Ooh.
Don't know if you can see.
Yes, we can see that.
Yes. I've put a lattice down in the background and then put my roses on top, so it looks like you're out in the garden. And the finished card that I've designed is like that. Again, we have the lattice, our sentiment, some roses, some ribbon, a little lace doily here, and with the lace doily, I've actually inked it, and some pearls at the top. Now, if you wanted like an autumn card, you could just use the leaves. So each stencil has multiple uses. You can use just the leaves here. I've done some light leaves, then gone back and done some really a bit darker, just for an autumn background. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little play. There's just another one in yellow a yellow version. I'm going to have a little play now and see what we can come up with. Okay. And I've got my little box here. I've gone ahead, just move the board, get onto my mat. Okay, get rid of that. Okay, I've already gone and done the lattice pattern. Can we see that?
Yes, we can see that.
Okay, and I've done the lattice pattern. I'm using oxides, and that's been done in walnut stain. So I'm going to put my stencil down. I've got my registration marks. So I'm just going to grab a pencil and just lightly put some little marks there. Okay. Getting out some colours, some wilted violet and some worn lipstick. I'll just put some on the table and just have a little play. So I am going to just bear with me while I get these registration marks right. Sorry about that. I'm just going to tape it down because everything moves. Okay. Okay, we're just going to load up. And I sometimes will use the stencil plastic as a palette to see if I've got too much colour, if it's too watery, so that it doesn't slip underneath. So that's just another little hint. And then I'll just go gently round. Then whatever ink I've put on there, I also pick it up from there as well. So here we go. Just a bit of quickly, just do an area. Okay, I find this very, very therapeutic because I don't know what I'm going to get when I lift this, which is fun. I can just play and not know what I'm going to get, which is great. And let's try another colour. I like putting my roses with a couple of colours in there. So let's just keep going and going. Okay, looking good. Let's just getting some of this out. Okay, let's get some green in there. Let's get some bundled sage. Just a bit of a mist. Okay, now we need to take that off. And that's what we're left with. Right. Okay, now we need to add the leaves. So what we do is just move our stencil up. Just join up those registration marks that you've added in there. Okay. takes a bit of fiddling when there's a bit of light on it. You can't see some of it. That's okay.
And Sofie, Faye's just wondering what type of tape are you using there?
Just masking tape at the moment. But what I tend to do is when masking tape can sometimes rip your paper off. So sometimes I do that to make it less tacky. And hi, Faye. Good to see you're here. So let's just go and just do some green now. Again. You might just do the green in one colour. I do like to stencil in two colours. It just gives me a nice little variation. And also, most leaves, they're not really one colour. They do have shades in them. So it's nice to just get that very real look. Yeah, let's just play and play. Okay, looking good. Getting happy with that. Okay, now let's see what we have. Should really clean up as I go. Okay, let's just pull this off and see what we've got. And this was the basis of the card that I showed before. There we are. Very pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty. And like you said,
Very
just with that two-stage stencil, it just makes it so much easier to separate those colours.
Yes, and you don't have to worry about, oh, did I overlap, and you know, if I got some green on the petals and things like that. It's much easier to do it this way with a stencil like this. And it doesn't matter if you do a large area. If you only use a little bit, you'll use another bit elsewhere. Or if you're left with a little bit of cross, it's always good to use that on another card with some flowers coming out, with a little bit of lace top and bottom. It'll look really, really nice. So that's just a neat, as you saw how easy it was. We have the registration marks there that'll help you. I've actually, and the A and the B and the C are all there. I've just darkened them in black so I can see them and so that you can see where they are. And you can also use texture paste with it. Now, if I was to use, and if I wanted to use texture paste on the roses, I would actually ink the leaves first.
Oh,
because
okay.
Because I don't want because imagine if you had texture paste, then you try to do the leaves with all the texture paste. Plus, your texture paste will also take longer to dry.
Yes.
So if you do the texture paste first, you'll have to let the texture paste dry, then do your leaves. So what we'll do is we'll do the leaves first, because they'll be quick drying because we'll do them in ink. Then we'll put the registration marks, line them back up, and then do the texture paste over that. And then when you take it off, you haven't wasted time waiting for that other process. Now, these stencils are A4 that I've shown you, and they're $10 a sheet, and they're in a thick, sturdy plastic. The roses that I've used in this packet are from a chipboard packet 1202. And if you notice down here the lace, put it the right way. I've just used some distress ink to change the colour of that little lace motif so that I can have it match the roses on my card. We sell these little lace motifs on our website. Okay, so let's put this aside and let's get on to the next part. I'm having fun here. I don't know if anyone else is.
No, we are having a lot of fun. We've got Christine saying that she loves the stencils. They're just so versatile.
They are very, very versatile stencils. Now, let's go on to something a little bit different.
Ooh.
Ooh, yes. Ooh, ah. Okay, this is our next stencil, which is a pattern stencil, but we've actually marked this 1, 2, and 3, as you can see there. Mm-hmm. Plus a little pattern down the bottom here. And this is a different pattern here on the side. And the way to use, well, I'll go through this one first, and then I'll actually do a sample of this here. The way we use this one here is you can actually put it down. Where is my? There it is.
Oh.
Very pretty.
Yes, that's very clever.
But what you do is you put it down. Let me just straighten up my board. Okay. You can see it all meeting there. Okay, so you would do that in 1 or 2 colours or blend as many colours in there as you like. And then you'd lift it and you would turn the stencil 45 degrees and mix and blend your other colour. I haven't quite there. Get the circle in there. Come on, Soph. You'll get it in there. There it is. Okay, and see how I've got all those different colours in there?
Yes.
Yeah, and that is by just using 2 colours randomly to get that. So with this one, it looks like a spiral. You can actually leave it like that and just have it like that. So it's quite a versatile stencil. You can have it as a single pattern, or you can fill in the pattern like we have here. Now, these here, I mean, it looks just like little pieces of nothing when you see it like that. But what I've actually created with it is the top, using 1, 2, and 3, is that.
Oh, wow.
And this little piece here at the bottom is what I've used for the background.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'm actually still not happy with it. This was actually prototype 1. This, again, is the process of how many times do we do things. I wasn't happy with this to use on a project. So I thought, what am I going to do? So I decided that I would actually spray the background. So I've misted the background. I think it's frayed burlap I've used, or pumice stone. I'm actually quite partial to pumice stone. So it's a pumice stone in the background. I don't know if you can see that. It's just cut the white out.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to tell. You can just see it's,
There's some speckles in there. Yeah, it is off-white. Now, if I put the white next to it, you can see.
Yes, you can see the contrast.
You can contrast. And what happened was I did this exactly the same design, spraying the background, and I actually managed to get 2 pieces out of it, which means I can make 2 cards, which is a wonderful thing. So let's go through the process of how I created this with 3 different colours so that we can see how it actually works. Okay, so let me get my other box down and get rid of my board. Okay. Now, I've actually gone ahead and sprayed because I just find that it's much easier if I do that rather than waiting for it to set. Just going to put that down. The good thing about this is you don't need registration marks because your centre is your registration mark. So I'm just going to put it there. To be honest, this is an A5. I've sprayed the whole lot. I've actually put little markings in the centre so that I can get this approximately in the centre. I am going to cut it up so it doesn't have to be accurate, but let's just close enough. So let's just put some tape down.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So if you're thinking ahead and you think you probably will cut it in half, then you can plan ahead.
It gave me the option. It gives me the option. So let me start with the colours. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to start off with some peeled paint. So let's just put that on there. I might just put all the colours down first so I can just go through and do the process. Okay. Okay, a bit of water. Put a bit of water because I find that it helps the colour glide better. Okay, so pick up my first colour. Again, I'll try it on the palette. Use this as a palette just to see what shade I'm getting through there. So let's just go around. You must do the centre on the first one. You don't have to on the others, but you must, because that is going to be your registration point. That's going to help you work out how all these are going to go around. So there, done stage 1. Each colour you'll do twice. So we're going to lift that off and we're going to turn it 45 degrees. So when I put it down, I'll see colour in the middle, but every other section will be blank. So rotate. Okay. Let me just see. Okay. Okay, come on, don't move on me. Sometimes I think these stencils have a mind of their own. Let's do it again. Now, as you can see, I'm centered in the middle. And let's just go again. So as I said, each little section of 1, 2, and 3, you'll repeat twice. You know, if you wanted to do another colour here, you could. And that way, instead of having 3 colours like I'm doing, you could do 6 colours. And this gives you the option. So let's take that off and we can see stage 1. It's even pretty the way it is now.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to keep it upright every time we use it. Can you see I'm keeping it upright? Okay, let's take that down again. There. And let's go to the blue. Sometimes I find the blue a little bit watery. So let's just test it first. And here we go. Circular motion I find works best when applying. I find I just get a little bit more of an even colour. And here I'm avoiding the centre because I'd like to maintain that green. So here we go. Okay, beautiful. Okay. And you can actually see the flower developing now. So let's just turn this around. I'm just going to clean that off. I've just gone into my colours there on the side. Don't want to be wearing them. Okay, let's just turn this around and find our little spots again. And let's pick up our blue again. Oops, it's moved a bit. I actually prefer to work standing up, so sitting down for me is extremely hard. Even Andrew says, how can you work standing up? I said, I'm actually more comfortable because I feel I can see down. I can see it down better and see how it's developing, but that's just me. Plus, I'm also short. Okay, let's take this off. Ta-da! Stage 2 done. Okay, now we're up to...
Sophie, before you move on, it looks like you've actually missed the bottom bit of that stencil.
Oh, I have too. Thank you. Let's get it around again. See, that's why I liked working on top. Wouldn't have missed it if I was standing up.
It's easy enough to go back and to add it in.
Actually, it is because your centre is your mark there. Okay, perfect. Now I've done it. Okay, I'm just going to wipe the back of it. Okay. Now, let's get to number 3. Again, we're just going to always hold it the way you would a page, upright. No need to turn it for your first one. That's where you'll always start. So let's just put that into place. Yep. And let's get to our last colour, which is the vintage photo. Let's just try a little bit. And let's go. Vintage photo. So this is taking layering stencils to another level. Just allowing you the freedom to just make it yours, which is so important today. Okay, let's see. I've got that right now. Because I can actually see underneath if I've got that centered in between the 2 other flowers. And I'm pretty happy with that.
Right, so that's what you're looking for. You're lining up the centre circle and then getting it in between the...
And getting it in between the patterns. I don't know if you probably can't see it on screen, but I can actually see where they are underneath. So, and I'm allowed to it's giving me the opportunity to move it a little bit and just see that I've centered it so I can see where everything's going to go.
Yeah, we can just see through it there.
You can just see through it, yep. It's better when you work it yourself. You can see much better. Okay, how's that?
That's amazing.
That's it is fun. Now, I'm going to go back with some pumice stone and just work the background. So this little piece here on the stencil that is left over, I just need to clean the stencil. I actually had my ink too close to my project and I've got some stains on the back. Now, there's a little bit here at the bottom, and that is just there for you to create backgrounds. So what I'll do is move those for a start, just clear up some of this stuff. There's my pumice stone. And I'm just going to lift it up and just going to put it there and just go round and round. Probably picking up some of the other colours from the other project. That's okay. And that's just extending that pattern out and giving it a little bit of more interesting background. You can do some areas dark, some areas light. Go to the edge. And even if you just wanted to do a whole background using this particular pattern, you could. And it's just giving you another option. So that is how I made this card. So from one pattern here that I've designed, you can actually get 2 A6 card fronts from an A5, which is pretty handy because none of it will go to waste. So let's move on to something else. So we're almost about finished now. So what I want to do is go through we've gone through the stencils. What I want to do now is go through some of the new chipboard that we've designed, and I'll just hang on to that. Okay. Just put some of this away. Okay. As I said, I was going to give something for card makers. Now, these 4 new packets are our new series of chipboard called Card Elements. And I've actually taken them out of the packet and spread them out for everyone so that they can have a better look at all the pieces that are in there. So we'll take this one. It's 61122. It's $5. The price is there. It comes with a frame that you can cut up and use wherever you like. Then it comes up with all these little elements of flowers with little leaves, as well as a string circle, as well as a sentiment. So you get more than one card out of this. Is that clear?
Yeah, they're lovely. That's just so pretty.
That is just our new range. And this is another one. It's got a vase. It's got some flowers there, some leaves, a butterfly, some little couple of flowers there joined, some tiny butterfly. Again, the frame. And everything is encased in the frame. It'll all come apart very easy. Mm-hmm. And it's just a new concept that we're coming up with for card makers. I'm leaving the best to last. There's one more. This is the third one, and I'll show you why in a minute, because it's when some of my design team girls saw it, they went, "Oh my goodness, we needed those. We needed those." So I'm just going to keep you all in suspense. So this is a vase, a watering can. It's just pretty, and a lot of these I've used on my cards because they're just small and versatile. You can even use them for ATCs. You can use them on your layouts just to tuck in somewhere. Sometimes you need that little bit of extra. And I love my butterflies. As you can see, there's a lot of butterflies in this because I do love my butterflies. Now, my last one is we have snails.
Snails?
We have snails in 3 sizes. The good thing about our snails is that you can actually make it like a 3-dimensional snail. Ooh. The reason being is that this in here is actually cut out. I'm just going to lift it up. I don't know if you can see that. I've actually raised it.
Oh, we can just see that, yes.
Yes. So what happens is you just use something to, can you see?
Yep.
Am I in there?
Yeah.
And that raises up. And what you do is you put some foam tape, little foam square underneath, and that will keep it propped up.
Ah.
Yeah. So you get like a three-dimensional snail on your work. It's so cute and so fancy.
Yeah.
But, you know, I like that. Again, different types of flowers in this range. We are going to expand this range. I just need to sit down on the computer and just design and play and find things. I'm just going to show you this because this is one of our word packages. And it's the word package that I've used here, the smile. And I like it because it has all these little swirlies on the end. And sometimes I just want a little word that is a bit longer and flowing and sweet looking. And I find that this range does. And this is 6117. It also comes with hearts and some butterflies in there.
Yeah,
Always have to have my
all sorts of different words. Lovely.
And all sorts of different words. And if you notice on here as well, I've actually added my bling because I absolutely love my bling. So we're going to put that on screen again. And we run the bling it's online. It's called Acrylic Craft Gems, but we all know it as bling. Now, the packets are $2.50 each. We run 11 colours, but we run each colour in 3 different sizes. So sometimes you want a project and you need some little bling and you want to graduate it to larger bling. We have that for you here. This has been very, very popular. This is a multicolour, which, you know, if you don't know what colour you want, this is the best one to buy.
Yeah.
And you always need gold, and you always need your silver, and you always need your clear, because the clear is really good, or I think we call it white something, yeah. And what that does is when you put it on top of another colour, it always looks different, and that's why I like that one. So we're just having some fun with this. And this is the hello that I used on the first project. We went through these before, but they have little mats behind them. We stock it in a black and we stock it in a white, and it has the little mats behind it. And what I usually do with the mat, I'll ink it the colour that I want, and that'll highlight the words much more. And it's got words, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that have got engraved words, and then there's a blank one right at the bottom if you wish to put your own word.
Ah,
in
excellent.
there. Yeah. So, well, that's about it for me. I think I've had some fun here, Michelle. I hope everyone's enjoyed everything I've been playing with. I just also want to say that all these designs are now on our online store. We're extremely happy with people and their response to this. That's what has actually inspired me to continue making more. When you purchase $50 or more on our website for Australian customers, we offer free post. So $50 worth of product, not including postage, we offer free post. So that's available all the time on our website. Okay? So that's been so much fun for me.
Fantastic.
I'm still nervous of doing it, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Excellent. Okay, well, I'll give you a moment to get your camera switched around. And wasn't that some fantastic ideas? I really love those card elements. What a good idea to be able to get things that you know that are going to be the right size, and then enough little other bits and pieces that you can build up the cards as well. I really like Sofie's idea about talking about making your own papers and backgrounds as well, because then you can use those colour inks to colour your chipboard, to colour your paper, and then you know that it's all going to match. And I love the registration marks, because the engineer in me knows that we can just get it perfect rather than having to try and guess it as we go. Excellent. So thank you so much, Sofie. So tell us a bit more about those card elements. I think they're just such a fantastic design.
They are. I've been a card maker for almost 30 years. So when I even first started designing chipboard, I not only was doing stuff for the scrapbookers, but I thought, oh, hang on, what about the card makers? They need something. So I used to do back then all my chipboard in large, and then I'd shrink it down to a small size for the card makers. And I found that the card makers really enjoyed it because they were more able to use inks. They were more open to it. Whereas I found a lot of the scrapbookers at the beginning were only just gluing it on and not adding any colour or texture to it. Now they've developed. They've seen it and they've developed. But the card elements is just something that, as I said, we've just been playing with. And being a card maker, that's where I tend to design first for the card makers. I do love my scrapbooking. I have gone to the dark side and I'm doing my scrapbooking and I'm doing my mixed media. But my first love is card making, and everyone knows me for that.
Yeah, excellent. And as Lisa pointed out, because they're flat, they'll fit well into art journaling as well.
Yes, they do. Yes, absolutely. And also, as I said, they're just pretty little designs that you can add to something else. Because it's got leaves, it's got flowers, it's got, I'll just put it up, just because it's got leaves, it's got flowers, you can just tuck them in somewhere where you need, even if you use like your paper flowers, you can tuck these little elements underneath, colour them whatever colour you like, autumn tones, spring tones of your leaves and your petals, and they work really, really well. As I said, it's a range that we've just started to develop, and we'll be going a lot further with it.
Excellent. You'll have to go back and take all of those designs and change them into card elements as well.
Oh, could be done. Oh, you've got my mind thinking now. Thank you. Yeah, you've got my mind thinking. But I like to not revisit old designs and just like to get in something new. And I'm also trying to incorporate some of the words, some of the titles in there as well, because then you get a packet and you can do a complete card with it. Yeah, you don't have to go, oh, where are my words? Where is this? Where is that? Oh, I don't have a word. I actually am trying to do that as well. And I found people have actually been really good with that. They've really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we'll put all the details to the Scrapmatts website, both here on Facebook and, of course, over on our website. And what's coming up next for Scrapmatts?
More designing, I think. Who knows where this is going to take us? Who knows where this is going to take us? We are really... we are actually, to be honest, I'll let you in on a little secret. We're actually doing some chipboard for this situation now, the COVID situation, because a lot of people have said to us, we really want to journal this. We really want to do this. Yeah. I wasn't comfortable with it, but I've had so many requests for it that I've sunk. And you know what? If the customers want it, I'll do it.
Yeah. And like you said, it you know, we sort of have so much going through our heads and all feel a little bit stuck. And what a great way just to be able to sort of process it, to document it so that we can...
That's exactly right.
We're really not good at remembering things. I can't remember summer. It feels like months since we were warm here in Melbourne. So it's just good to be able to document that so that we can share it. And especially, you know, if you've got kids that are a bit smaller, it'll help remind them as well. Absolutely, because that you can show them doing the homeschooling and what they were like. And how many parents were tearing out their hair during that period? I'm glad I'm past all that. Yes, well, and in Victoria we might be heading back into that too, so we don't even want to think about that at the moment. I hope not. I hope, because we've all been doing so well, and all Australia's been doing so well. We don't want to see it back at that stage. No, exactly. Well, Sofie, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing with us your stencils and your chipboard. It's been so much fun. Thank you everyone for staying and watching, and I'll get to the comments after I have a cup of tea first, because I want my little cup of tea. Definitely. And then I'll get back onto Facebook and I'll answer some people's questions. But thank you everyone for staying and watching and just having some fun with me. Yeah, excellent. I inspired you to go away and do something. Yep, definitely. Dig out some of those stencils, buy a few more and get some card making done. And have a good play. Thank you. Excellent, great. Thanks, Sofie. Fantastic. Well, I hope you have been inspired to go do some card making if you don't normally do card making, or maybe some art journaling or some scrapbooking. And of course, just think about how we can use those stencils in different ways as well, and use our inks in different ways, because that's what it's all about, making sure that we do get to know our tools and our supplies and then use them really well as well. So of course, like we said, all of the details and the links to all of Sofie and Scrapmatt stencils will be over on our website from picture2pageandbeyond.com.au. And if you do have any other questions, pop them in the comments and we look forward to seeing what you make. So if you'd like to share what you created, head over to our Facebook group, which is Papercraft Posse, and there we've seen all sorts of our wonderful crafters sharing some of the products that they've learned and the techniques that they've learned during these sessions. So thank you so much for playing with us today. This is Michelle signing off. We hope you have a crafty day.